How everybody doing out there? Welcome back to another review of P Valley Season 1, Episode 2. It kicks off with a Fantasy Friday at the Pynk Club, and when they say the freaks come out at night, the freaks are coming out at night, and it is going down in the Paradise Room. They basically having kinky role play of slave and master with Urban, who's a regular customer to the Pynk Club, with Mercedes in Mississippi. And let me tell you, my eyes, they are bearing it all. And then you have Autumn Night lap dancing to her customer, and all she could focus on what's going on in Paradise Room. You see a lady bringing a box in the back of Autumn Night mind. She wondering what's going on in the Paradise Room, not really focusing on her client. So when they bring the box, all you hear is whipping and screaming. So Diamond comes out and closes the door and tells Autumn Night to focus on what she's doing. I'm like, okay, this is what men waste their money at a strip club. I'm sorry. They pay people to whip them. I just cannot. Wow. A bad stripper comes out with a white fur coat and a long train. And she graced the stage with her presence. And she throw the coat to the audience. And she grabbed the pole and does her dance. And the people in the club is making it rain. And you have other ladies also doing other dances and doing their thing, okay? You see a lady walking off the stage carrying 2 clear bags of money. Yeah, you better get your money, ladies. Get that money, honey. Kermit is done with the Paradise Room, and he about to leave the club, but runs into Uncle Clifford in Mississippi. And he tells him he had a good time and stuff like that. And Mississippi is color stroke by his color, and to me, I don't discriminate against nobody. Long as the person treats you right, it doesn't matter what their skin color is, whether they pass the brown paper bag or not. Long as the person treats you right. But you can have your own kind and they treat you wrong, so it doesn't matter. So when you see Corbin leaving, is it me or did he have a big stain on the back of his shirt that was brown? I'm like, what is that on the back of his shirt? Maybe it's me. And the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I hope that's makeup. Please let that be makeup on the back of his shirt. Autumn Night is done with her client. She runs into Uncle Clifford, and Uncle Clifford demands to see ID. And she wants to be paid underneath the table. And Uncle Clifford is like, nah, this is a legit club and he don't want to go to jail for tax evasion. But in reality, Uncle Clifford club is not so legit like he say. You gonna see later on, it's not that legit. So Autumn wants to work in the Paradise Room, and Clifford tells her, nah, until she get ID, she won't be able to work in there. But she think they hoeing. I'm like, if you think they hoeing in the Paradise Room, why do you want to work in here? And when Clifford says that if he don't have no ID, she can no longer work in the club. You should have seen Haley's face when she found out that information. She looked so distraught, like, man, what am I gonna do if I cannot work here? You heard? Toya, one of the strip Empress is stinking up the joint, and the ladies are complaining how she's stinking up the joint. I like, she ain't got no shade in her game. Cause the lady is spraying the air freshener and she just sticking out her booty. The suicide wings is causing everyone to get gas. I said they don't call it suicide for no reason. Nasty gas is deadly. And I should judge she change her diet or do a detox to the codeine. Cause you don't want to be going around places and just thinking up the joint. Big L is aware of Uncle Clifford's financial troubles with the club and bring it to his attention. And the only reason Big L knows this information because he opened Uncle Clifford's mail. And Uncle Clifford was like, stop opening my goddamn mail. So Big L is worried about this. Because this is all he had is the pynk club. Because he have 2 strikes against him. And he felt like cashing checks is not going to be enough. So Uncle Clifford tells him, don't worry about it. He's going to get this under control. He got things in the works and stuff to handle it. And he tells him to handle it. And he asks him when his big homie gonna pick up that Oxycontin in the freaking refrigerator. I'm like, this is where you see the club ain't legit, because Uncle Clifford, it might not go to jail for tax evasion, but you sure gonna go to jail for drugs. If the FBI raid that club, so either way, he won't go to jail for something. And this is where you show that Uncle Clifford got the world on his shoulder, because he is carrying the employees on his shoulder. A lot of those people that work at the club don't have anything outside of the club. But Mercedes the only one that's different from them, who built something. Uncle Clifford runs to the car so he could clear his mind. He put the notice with the other rest of the notice in the glove department. And while he clearing his mind, Little Murder pops up in the back of the truck with the gun to Uncle Clifford's head. And Uncle Clifford is like, stop talking all that mess, cuz. If you gonna do what you gonna do, do it. You heard? Like, we don't got time for this. And this is where you see Little Murder being salty because he paid and his song didn't get played entirely. And Uncle Clifford like, nobody want to listen to that slow. You heard? Nobody was feeling it though. And I'm like, he placing his blame on Mercedes because his music was basically whack. So Little Murder and Uncle Clifford is having a little conversation about how big Little Murder D is. And Little Murder, being rude as he is, takes the cigarette out of Uncle Clifford's mouth and smokes it. And you see Uncle Clifford having flashbacks. I think Little Murder and Clifford had some relationship before. That's what the feel I get. Like they have past relations with each other. Because Clifford was having like reminiscence of somebody touching him. So I think Little Murder and Clifford are their love interests. But you have Mercedes in the neighborhood jogging with Black and Mild. Her dog is named after a cigar company. Black and Mild is the paper they wrap the weed in. She's jogging and she stops for a little bit because she sees somebody underneath a car. She stops so the guy can actually spot her. So the man comes from out the car to talk to Mercedes. But I like, he fine though. You heard? He's a nice piece of chocolate. You understand? says that he's gonna be there for her last dance, and she don't believe him because he got an ankle monitor on his leg. And now I'm curious. I'm like, how he gonna get this ankle monitor off his leg? Mercedes is home feeding Black and Mild, and she keep getting a call from her mama, and Mercedes already know what her mama want. Cause the pastor want the daughter to give $20,000 in offering, and the pastor is actually bribing the mother if the daughter continue to give $20,000 tithe to the church, she could get to be on the pulpit. But in my opinion, why I thought he was kind of talking dirty when he said, I need to try you out on the pulpit, I was thinking something else. My mind was in the gutter when he said this. Autumn is home and her phone is not working, so she goes down to the payphone in her bathrobe to call, I assume FEMA, to check the identity of who's deceased, because she got people IDs. So she checks one and that person's deceased. In my last video, I said the person's name was Catherine Savage. Her name is Lakeisha Savage. And she checks her identity and there's nothing on file yet. And then she goes check another identity. So she checks another name, Matavius Hill. And I think that's the baby daddy of her daughter who she running from. Or her boyfriend that she running from. Either one. Yo, I was so wrong about Andre. I thought he was working for drug dealers. This dude is actually in real estate. I was like, that's a good one. This dude is dressed up and he checking all the photos in his file, and then he takes Haley's photo out of the file and put it on his hard drive. And then he go visit this family where the family named the Cows, where there are two brothers, and Andre is in the field of cotton taking pictures. Man comes out and say, why don't you pick some? Andre like, what did you say? I didn't hear you correctly. What did you say? Okay, so I thought that was very rude. You don't tell black people, why don't you pick some? And then he said, because people like to take it as a souvenir. How about you say, why you don't take some for a souvenir? Then say, pick some. Not cool at all. Andre says, let me get your John Hancock. And the guy said, what did you say? He mean your signature. So Andre needs their signature for this deal that they doing. The deal is to build a casino for the future. But they can't do it because their half-brother needs to sign on the deal. So Andre makes a deal with the two brothers that he could get them to sign the paper. And he tell them where they could find them. He said at the Pynk Club. Mercedes is standing in front of this building with her girls and their mothers. I guess they just finished up practice because the girls were complaining saying it's too hot to be practicing out here. And Mercedes give them good news that the building behind her is going to be their studio. And they will be practicing next week. But I'm like, how they going to practice if the building don't even look ready for somebody to even enter, yet alone practice? And then you have two men in a car being rude to Mercedes because they know her from the strip club. I'm like, that is so disrespectful. This is the day of the car wash, and you have Mississippi on her phone telling people to come down to get the car clean and stuff, and everybody is here. The mayor comes out to get his car detailed, and Clifford don't know why they there. And Big L tell him, don't start no mess because we need the money. And the mayor and they discussing how he's gonna call the sheriff to shut everything down for too much noise. And Clifford don't understand why that he making all these laws about the liquor and breast thing going on. Either they could have liquor or they could cover up, which don't make no sense. But I understand why the mayor is giving Uncle Clifford a hard time, because he is in on that deal. So Uncle Clifford get Mercedes and Autumn Night to clean the mayor's car. So Mercedes in the front, Autumn Night is in the back. And so Mercedes run out of cleaning products. So she asks Autumn Night, do she have any? And Autumn Night being funny, saying she don't have nothing, and all the time she had cleaning products. So Mercedes go and get the thing. And this is where Haley's scars begin to surface at this moment, because the water forms onto the car and she having a flashback of her being stuck in the car and can't get out. And she gets out through the sunroof. She blames on Mercedes that she locked her in the car, and Mississippi says it's the child lock. You know what I'm saying? And I said, oh, Haley, pettiness came to bite her in the ass. I said that's what she was trying to be funny to Mercedes. So Uncle Clifford tell Mercedes to take her home, and Haley really don't want to go home, but she goes home anyway. So they get to her house and everything, and Haley don't want Mercedes to walk her to her house. Mercedes like, I'm trying to show you some southern hospitality. And Haley like, I'm fine. Leave me the hell alone. So Mercedes get all the way to the door. Haley closed the door. She like, fine. I don't believe you believe in curtains either. Because Haley had newspaper all over her windows. It's nighttime. And Haley is at the laundromat. I'm at the computer doing wire fraud. For $9,000, she trying to get that money for Lakeisha, and she gonna try to get it deposited into her own account. She gonna go to jail, because the government do not play about their money. And if it happens to be that girl is alive, she definitely gonna be in trouble. So it's nighttime, and the girls are coming into the pink club, and Mercedes is joking about her what happened of taking Haley home. And they come in and they see Uncle Clifford fussing with the cook because he just quit. And Uncle Clifford is stressed to the nine. And Mercedes sent something because she make a joke about how she gonna bring in mad money to the club, and she noticed his behavior is different. And Uncle Clifford saying he on this sinking ship and he gonna be the only one left on him. And he just crying. And Mercedes town rule 2, 4.5, no crying in the pink club. And Uncle Clifford like, you're right. Let me gather myself together. Okay, like you right. Uncle Clifford and Big Al is in the kitchen cooking up that food, but they not moving fast enough. And the people want their food. They like, how long for this, cuz? Little Murder comes in so Uncle Clifford can listen to his music. And Little Murder tell him what's wrong with the club. He ain't got no hookah, he ain't got no money guns, and the wings are giving people gas. The stripper passed gas on one of the clients' lap, and which is not cool. So Little Murder gave him a suggestion on how to fix everything. He like, this is what you should do with your wings. He need to pan-sear the wings and cover the wings in cannabis butter so it could give the clients more highs. so they can spend more. I said they want to be in jail once again because you cannot do that. Even though it sounds like a good idea, you cannot put drugs in people's food. Crazy LNG. So Clifford let him be the cook for the night. This thing is an eye-opening because Little Murder is chasing a dream that he doesn't have talent. And you can see his talent is in cooking. He has knowledge of cooking. So why is he not open a training facility to train black people in Mississippi so they could be employed with other restaurants? Because that's where his real talent is. Order night is at the bar, and the bartender tests her to see who she should pay attention to as a client for tonight. And she points to the two men that's in the line, and Mercedes is like, y'all girl will never make no money, because those two are here to make money. If you have one man, he's here to spend money, but two is just to make business, period. And Mississippi want to know how she knowledgeable. Mercedes is knowledgeable because she been in this game for 7 years, so she's seen it all, okay? One night goes and asks Andre for a dance, and Corbin is like, I thought you said you wasn't here before. He like, I have him. So how she know your name? Because he like, we met before. And Mercedes comes in and says his name. He like, how you know my name? She like, if I know your name, everybody know your name. I think Mercedes was overhearing. That's how she found out what his name was. And she gave him an ultimatum. You want dark liquor or you want white liquor? And he chose white liquor, which is Autumn Night. And Mercedes like, not everybody could handle a Marilyn Monroe. So Autumn Night gives them a lap dance. And she overheard their business conversation. And Andre declines the offer for the kickback because Corbin wants to make money and lease the land, and he's not interested in the deal, but still gives Andre the money. So Andre gives, and this makes him look like he's a decent dude, but Andre is really not a decent dude, and you'll see that later on that he's not a decent dude. Clifford is outside trying to smoking a cigarette, trying to clear his thoughts. Mercedes meet him, and she said, I've been an OG in the game and I have not broke not one rule in this house. And she goes over the rule. Rule number 1 is let the stage be your stepping stone and not your gravestone. Rule number 2 is always know where to exit in this place, because you don't know when you have to turn a window into a door. Mercedes mentioned, when are you going to tell him that you in financial trouble? And Clifford is like, take your third eye somewhere. And she asked him, how much you need? She like, how much you need? He like, 55 stacks. And god damn, that's a lot. How did he get into this hole? That's the part I'm trying to understand. I hope in the future they elaborate how he got into the hole. Autumn Night is giving another lap dance to Andre, and Andre wants her to sit on the couch. And he has a conversation. He asks her how she's doing, and he like, I'm glad you got morals for your lap, but not your bank account. So he asks, pretend like we never met, because she regrets on giving him his name. So she begins to dance for him again, and he noticed her scar on her stomach because she probably had a C-section for giving birth to her daughter. And they share something at this moment, that they both have scars on their physical body. He has a scar on his chest because as a baby he was born with his heart outside his chest. And Haley don't think it's true, but he telling it is true. And at this point while they talking, you see her internal scar of her soul when Andre brings up the child, and she ended the session and tell him it's over because he talked about bringing up her child. And Autumn Night gives him information, if he ever do take a kickback, is to get his investment in a shield protection where they can protect his identity. And he want to know how she did that. I think the man that she running from put her on to that. That's how she know how to do stuff like that. Andre gives her his business card and the money so she could keep it. It's the end of the night. The girls are turning in their money to Uncle Clifford. And Haley give her tips in the percentage of 150 of the money that she made from Andre. And Mercedes have a problem with that and start something with Haley. And she like, I ain't never had the horrible head a day of my life. And I don't understand why Mercedes have a problem, because what Haley did is no different what she did with Little Murder when she took the G just to listen to music. Andre just gave her money because he wanted to, and all they did was just talk. It's really no freaking difference. So I don't understand what the problem is. Before you come up here before all these girls and flossing all this money, like you got it like that, you know what I'm saying? Making them feel bad about themselves. I said nobody can make you feel bad about you. You gotta be confident enough to know you are the best in what you do. Okay? Clifford wanna see Autumn Night ID, so she hands him the ID, and he like, this is not you. And then during small talk, she mentioned a casino. So Uncle Clifford get a light bulb in his head. He said, all right now, he gonna use Autumn Night as a mode to get information about this casino. Mercedes is home and her mother is waiting on the porch for her. And this is where you see Mercedes get a backbone, because she requests the 20 stacks back from her mama, and her mama looked surprised. Haley is at home drinking and in her underwear, and she thinking about calling Andre. Andre is on the phone with his wife, and his wife asks him when he gonna come home and do some repairs around the house. So when Haley calls him, this dude gets off the phone with his wife to speak to Haley. And this is where you see this dude is messed up. And his internal scar is infidelity. Because these two begin to have phone sex. He takes off his clothing, gets in the bed, and they basically getting each other heated. This dude explodes all over himself. I'm like, so we just gonna leave that as one? You not gonna clean that up? And I said, well, I feel bad if the wife take out the good heart that he had left. Nope. Because you could have did that with your wife. Why would you hang up the phone on your wife to do that with a stranger? Little Murder left a CD in Uncle Clifford's car to listen to the music that he did over. If you hated the video, please leave a comment down below. If you watched the entire video and like some of what I said, smash that like button. And I'm going to end the video with the theme song. We make falling on the sky look easy. Look at my ladies, gangster walking on the ceiling, green on the floor. Money talk, can you hear me? The world is addicted, but dreams is expensive. Keep spending, work hard for the top. Can't fall now, but whatever goes up must fall down. In the words of P Valley, Let your job be your stepping stone and not your tombstone. And always knows when to exit. Because sometimes our time is up. Those are real gems to live by. In the words of Pop Smoke, look, I make it rain in whoever. I make it rain in the whoever. I am a lady, baby.